I say, wah, Papa G coming at you, hollering at you. You understand? Now, before I get started with this broadcast, I wanted to, just show you a little something before we get started. So, I'm not just bumping off at the gums. All right. Of course, I got my boy, Barack, all right, in Obama years. It'd be remiss to not show you that. But let's get to the meat on what I'm really talking about here. What I'm talking about, this is just one of the things I did in life, okay? That's me, all right? That don't define me. That's just one of the things that I've done, okay? And so I live by this right here. So then you move on. Then you're looking at my son, okay? That's Mr. Franklin Muse, Angelo State University, okay? Then I shared with y'all Mr. Devontae Muse, graduating from UNT, you know what I'm saying? So, you've seen the generational wealth. I shared it with some people, and other people who know me understand who I am, you understand? And so, when I say things that I say, I want you to understand that I'm not just some loudmouth brother that's running off on random without the qualifications, without the experience to be able to talk about these things. You understand? I started out this life, in a very destitute situation. Most people that started out life like me either ended up dead or, in jail, or they crazy by now. All right? So if you ever wonder, who are you? What give you the right to be able to say, the things that you say? It's because I have put my head down and bust my ass to get myself in a position in life to be where I am today. So anyway, enough with that. On with the show. All right. And today, once again, we'll be having our conversation, our community conversation about exposing the bully. And who is the bully? The bully is child support. All right. Now, this episode is called The Great Deceiver, because that's exactly who child support is. And before I really get off into this, I want to give a shout out to Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, to The Departed, Mr. Kevin Samuels. Please like, share, subscribe. My video, let other people know about me, because this is the civil rights issue of our time. Okay, fathers in America are under assault. The institution of marriage is under assault. The church needs to step up and fight for the institution of marriage to be put back in the church house and have total control over traditional marriage. The church needs to speak up and stand against homosexual marriage, homosexual union, and Christians. It's time for us to now speak up and separate our institution from the world. Okay? I truly believe in my heart, my religious belief is marriage is an institution ordained by the Creator. It was explained to us by the Creator. It was given to us so that it could be the roadmap on how we could be fruitful and multiply and reproduce on this earth, so that we could be good tillers of the land. This is my religious belief. Child support, the Attorney General, the state and federal government are all in cahoots to try and go against our religious beliefs, and do it in such a well-disguised manner that you will really get tied up in the social issues and get caught up in the ways of man to the way where you will give it validation. Listen, homosexual marriage has a valid argument. Their grief for why they should be allowed to come to a union has a valid argument. You understand? No one can stand up and say, hey, no, y'all don't deserve to be able to share your benefits and stuff like that with one another. So we understand that the world has decisions that the world have to make. But our instruction is clear. You understand? And we have to be good stewards. So, Christians, it's time for us to set aside, to be able to set ourselves aside, to be able to set ourselves apart, to be able to stand up and say, at this point, we're taking our ship and we're going this way, and you guys are taking your ship and you're going this way. We can't keep talking about, oh, Judgment Day is coming and all that. It's here. What you gonna choose? Okay? Because by them assaulting marriage the way they doing, that's how the young men are out here running wild in the streets, filling up the penitentiaries. That's how the communication lines with the television and the radio have been allowed to just, run amok. That's how someone can sit at home and become so-called militarized and then go out and hurt all these people. When we had a society where the family order, the family structure was in position like it was supposed to be, we didn't have such a violent society. We didn't have such rude people. All right? Child support knows this. The Attorney General knows this. The federal government and the state government, they know this. All right? But what have they done? They have figured out when to come at us at our weakest point. And instead of coming to us at our weakest point and coming to us with real solutions, okay, they come to us with schemes and cons on how they can increase their future revenue. Because it's a well-known fact now that the cigarette manufacturers understood what problems they were imposing upon society by putting their product out. And so they then created a strong campaign to deflect and keep people from being able to understand that they were the cause of the problem that was out there, because they knew that this would, when the problem surfaced, people were going to be talking about it. So they got ahead of the problem. All right. And they were so far ahead of the problem that it took people 60, 70 years to finally come to a normal consensus to be able to say, hey, you've conned us. This product is no good. Well, the same thing is going on here. Okay. And uniformly, fathers are being abused, and we are not being treated as equal parents. Because I'm sorry about that statement. Let me correct that right there. You see how I stopped in the middle of that statement? Because I don't want equality. I don't think things are equal. And I don't want equality. All right? The father is the head of the household. That is what it is. Okay? And I'm not sharing. And I don't ever want to give the position that I'm willing to share my seat, because I'm not. Okay? It's lonely at the top. And everybody wants to be on the top. That's why the women are fighting to try to get our seat and break the natural order of things. But back to what we're talking about. So child support understands, from medical doctors, from learned scientists, from all type of different institutions, and even from the raw sheer facts that they have of data where they have seen the results of their actions over generations. So they knowingly did wrong by giving the children to the mother and trying to make the mother the focal point as far as being responsible for the children when the mother and the father separate. But even when the facts bared it out to them, they still bury it. They still be quiet about it. And they still continue to give the children to the mother, knowing that it's going to cause, like, I mean, crazy, stupid problems. Look, let me, while we talking, I'm going to look at what does Google have to say about a child growing up without an active father in their life. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is what I asked Google. I asked Google, what happens to a child who grows up without a positive male role model in his life? Because I don't want to say just a father, because in certain circumstances, fathers go off to war, get killed. If you're a black man, you know, another black man more than likely they murdered you. The police done murdered you. You know, we running the gauntlet here. But it says, for instance, when dad isn't around, children are more likely to be involved in criminal activity, sexual activity, do poor in school, and participate in harmful activities. Studies have shown that a father's involvement or a positive male role model profoundly affects children. What did it say? It says studies. This is your Google saying this. Okay? So if this is just at the touch of a finger, okay, don't you think child support, the attorney general, state, local, federal government are all in possession of these facts? They are in possession of these facts. You understand me? So what does that make us say then? They just don't give a good goddamn. They just don't give a good goddamn. Because did you hear the effects of not having a dad or a positive role model around? Let me read that to you again. It says that the children are more likely to be involved in criminal activity. That's the first thing it said. Criminal act. You can't, you know, like Kevin Samuels used to say, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. This shit is at the touch of a finger saying, they so bold, they saying, look here, we know we fucking over society. We know we fucking over y'all. You understand me? We'll even be willing to put it in writing that we know you don't know what the fuck, that we know what the fuck we doing. Okay? So now they done showed you that they're in possession of the knowledge to know full well don't do this, but they still gonna do it. Then they get on the TV and they try to play like they don't understand why the young men are running rampant in the street, running crazy in the street. They don't understand why the young girls are constantly being more and more promiscuous. You know what I'm saying? And then they make the inner cities Sodom and Gomorrah, all right, with all the debauchery and everything else, because, you know, they keep the people living at a state where they can't pay attention to the children. They got to pay attention to the financial side. And then the people, instead of realizing they're not equipped really to take care of the financial side. So what they need to do is sacrifice for their seed and get up to the kitchen table and make sure this kid get a good education and can go off to college. You know, stop telling that lie about you trying to give them a better life than what you had if you know that you didn't make it to college because you didn't get a good education, and you're not trying to help them get to college, or you're not trying to help them get a trade and you don't have one. You know what I'm saying? Then you're not trying to give them a better life than what you had. You're just trying to spoil a child. Let's call it what it is. Let's just call it what it is. All right? So child support understand that with men is structure. With men is guidance. You understand? They understand the mentality that a man brings to the situation. They don't want that. So ladies, I need you to hear me and be like, you know what? Triple OG Gill, He trying to put us on game. We got to listen at him, because his sons is grown. There they go. His sons is grown, and they successful. You see what I'm saying? He did that, what he talking about. He walked that walk. That's him on the wall right there. He walked that walk several times. He not no hypocrite. It is so easy for you to teach your children they ABCs. It is so easy for you to teach your children how to write they single digit numbers and have them doing this kind of thing by the time they get ready to go to the first grade. I will never stop emphasizing that, because if you get that established, your child has such a great chance at success with education if you could just get them reading by the first grade. It's such a low-hanging fruit. Such a low-hanging fruit. And we can do this as a community. I want to take this time to say my Cash App is $Gil Muse. Please, if you'd like to support me until YouTube monetizes my page, please Cash App me. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Now, back to what we're talking about. We're talking about the great deceiver. We're talking about what is happening because of the great deception. Okay? We know they trying to fill up the penitentiaries because Google just said it. We know they trying to fill up the graveyard because Google just said it. We know they trying to make the women promiscuous because Google just said it. We know they don't want strong, black, financially stable, independent communities because Google just said it. And they understand that without a father, child support, the attorney general, state, federal government, they understand that without a father at the door, the family has no integrity. There ain't, listen here. Man was here by himself, and God put a woman here for man. So why would he put her here for us? And then you let the government and other people try to say you don't need no man. The very reason you were put here for man. We gave first birth. We gave first birth to you so that we could have a helpmate. The Lord caused man to go into a deep sleep. I'm not telling no tales. The Lord caused man to go into a deep sleep and remove the rib. And from that rib that he removed, he made woman. The reason he did this is because he said, it is not good that man be here alone. Nobody can dispute nothing I just said. You know why? Because when you get down to the basic facts, it destroys fancy education. I know I got fancy education. You understand? Now, so then he gave man dominion over everything. That includes his children. Then he put the tree of life between my legs. A lady's egg is dormant. It sits in her body dormant for 30 days. then it expires. Inside of me is teeming with life. The semen that I produce, if you look at it under the microscope, is teeming with life. When I ejaculate, my semen immediately gets into a competition with one another to see who can swim the fastest to get to the egg and fertilize the egg first. In my case, 2 of them was tied and got there at the same time. You know, and hey, I got twin boys. But we have to fight. This is the civil rights issue of our time. And we have to stand up and we have to fight for fathers' rights. And we have to understand that if we do not establish that the children belong to the father and not the mother and change this system the way they have it, our cities will continue to fail. Crime will continue to run up. Violence will continue to be something that we wrestle with, and our children will continue to be a threat to us. If the men were raising the children, society would be more civil. These are questions you can ask Google, the phone in your hand, and they will answer those questions for you. So you don't have to say this man sitting here talking crazy. No, sir, he is not. Now, we have to protect fatherhood and establish fathers' rights because we see the consequences of the assault on marriage. Our children are our predators, okay? We have to protect fatherhood so we can have safe communities and raise a strong fighting force. I want to stop right there. If we don't have competent people, if we don't have masculine men, who's going to fill our armed forces? This goes well beyond just having safe cities. Do you realize if we do not put the natural order of things back the way it go? You see, we had, listen, I don't give a fuck. I'm about to say it because it's the truth. It's not evolution and that we grew in the mind and all that type of shit. Okay? Because ain't no straight man comfortable with taking off his clothes in the locker room around a gay man. If he say he is, he'll fucking lie. Ain't no straight man comfortable with taking off his clothes around a gay man in an all-male setting. If he say he is, he'll fucking lie. The military had to compromise and allow homosexuality into the military because the family structure has been eroded to such a point that the fighting force that we normally would pull from has been disqualified with homosexuality to the point to where we had to allow that. Let me show you how much further this erosion to the family is going to affect us as a nation. Pretty soon, not pretty soon, I'm sorry, I take those words back. If we were to get into a conflict, let's say with China and Russia, and we had to have a serious call up to arms, get the fighting force numbers up. The way we making felons out of young black men, we would have to, let's say we had a world war, we would have to lower the standard to accepting convicted felons because the family structure is so broken that the selection of armed forces we would have to select from has been so greatly tainted with that title felon that we couldn't ignore that great number of people when we would need them to contribute to a fighting force. So the military would be reduced to accepting convicted felons. Think about that. Think about that. We are making felons so fast until there's going to come a day where it's not going to be relevant to put if you're a felon on the job application, because it's going to be considered to be discriminatory because so many are going to be felons. All of this, Google said it, all of this stems from not letting the father be the head of the children. There is no logical explanation for why child support gives the children to the women. This is not supposed to be a program about emotion. This program is supposed to be for the good of society. This program is supposed to be for the good of humankind. If you are making this about the children, and then that means that you are supposed to take the facts and apply them in the proper manner. And if you're going to apply the facts in the proper manner, then the facts tell you to give those children to the father. You know this. You know this. Okay? And let me tell you something. I don't want to hear no shit. Because, I was talking to some dudes. I'll give you a little example. I was talking to some dudes in the barbershop. And, they was passing a rule where it was like no more of that ducking your motherfucking head shit in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? For running backs, you got to stand up and run the ball. Them silly motherfuckers over there trying to act like, the players gonna buck. Talking that dumb shit. That's what they doing, talking that dumb shit. Oh, it's just a natural order. You gotta duck your head. You just naturally gotta duck your head. What the fuck? Running backs don't duck their head no more, huh? Because when you pass the rule, I got a better example for you. In New Orleans, you got motherfuckers, when I was growing up, used to be running around talking about that 9th ward, that 3rd ward, that 7th ward, that 10th ward, that 12th ward, you know what I'm saying? All that shit, right? They got this shit tattooed on themselves. They'll hurt somebody for coming in a project that the government owns. They don't own. They'll hurt somebody for coming in a community that their mama got a Section 8 at. They'll get a street name of a white man who they don't even know tattooed on their body saying, this is my area. You know what I'm saying? Then, after Katrina, the city of New Orleans took them same people and put them all in New Orleans East. So now, how come you ain't jump on them people and be like, shit, I'm from that 9, I don't mind dying, you ain't moving me. You know what I'm saying? You from the 9th ward, but now you living in New Orleans East because them people told you to, because you don't own shit. You don't have shit. You see what I'm saying? Everything you get, they giving to you, so you got to do what the fuck they say. But I was saying that because, no such thing as when you change the rules, they ain't gonna listen. Okay? If you tell them you're not getting child support no more, what the fuck they gonna do? If you tell them that we have to go with the scientific evidence, we have to go with the medical facts, and plus we have enough data since 1975 to prove that we have done this in error, all right? And that we should have not been giving the children to the mother from the beginning, but we can no longer continue to this mistake because we are now an unsafe society because of the decisions that we have made. Can we tell the truth? Can we tell the truth? Okay, because if you look at some of the worst men who have been given an opportunity to raise their children are nothing like them. They could have been some of the hardest down gangsters, some of the roughest people, and their children be college educated. Their children be nice, well-mannered people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't do what Bobby and Whitney did. You know. Now, why would the church not stand up for the Creator's institution? Especially because we know we are commanded to be fruitful and multiply. And we need to shield our children from the government. Now, as Christians, I just want to know, why is this not the fight that we are not hiding in the church house about, but trying to join forces, get a petition going, trying to protect the institution of marriage, trying to sound off, talking about it in every church on every Sunday. You understand me? Every time 2 or 3 Christians get together. This is the civil rights issue of our time. This is why we cannot experience generational wealth. Listen to me, I know what I'm talking about. The reason I'm experiencing generational wealth is because I was able to make a plan with my children when they were little bitty boys. You see what I'm saying? And formulate what we were going to do. Now, of course, I'm the hero. You understand? Of course, you stick to the plan. But I understood that we were going to be successful together. And I understood that I wanted to have a life where, you know, we had weekends where we had dinners together, and we did a lot of family things together. Now, everything haven't come to fruition yet, but I have not given up on having a total family life that I want to have, you know, having my grandchildren running around me and, you know, on my own land and everything. I've been through my divorce and put everything back together, and so I'm embarking on it. And that's what I want for every man. That's why I'm fighting for this. You know, I don't want my sons to not have their children and experience the joy and the pain that I've experienced in raising children. And I don't want men to keep on not getting the opportunity to raise their children, because the children that are neglected are the ones that could kill my children. And I understand that. So that's what makes it all of our battle. Okay? So that's why I'm so passionate about this, what I'm talking about. That's why, you know, I'm going to fight this fight until the day I die. I'm not doing this because I'm thinking I'm going to win this. A lot of people say that to me. Let me make something clear to you. I'm not in this fight to win. I'm in this fight to fight. Understand that. I'm just here to fight. If I happen to win, that's fine. But I'm going, every day I get up, I'm going to try to put my foot in the Attorney General's ass of the state of Louisiana. They're a piece of scum for destroying the institution of marriage and for and the child support system, for subsidizing men out of the family structure, for directly contributing to the destruction of America. And from going against common knowledge and fact, like the cigarette company did. The cigarette company full well knew, because they studies told them, when you give these people this is what's going to happen. The Attorney General, the child support system, the state, local, federal government, they all know what's the outcome of giving our children to the mother. They have had the studies. They've been told before they did this, don't do this. Okay? So now we have to stand up, start a petition. Okay? We have to sign this petition saying that we want, when the mother and father separate, that the father is the one who get the children. Okay? And we understand it's for the good of society. It's for a good moral society. Okay? We have to stand up and pull out the medical facts, pull out the stuff that's been consistent since the 70s. The facts have never changed. Never have there been a year where the facts come out and say the child would be better off if you give the child to the mother over the father. They don't. They ain't never changed. It's been consistent that it should be the father. Okay? But they expecting you to just believe what they say and never go look nothing up. Never look for yourself. And that's why you got brothers like me that's willing to go look stuff up and come back and tell you they said this, but in actuality, the rules say this. You understand? Now, look, I don't want ladies to think that I'm against you. I'm not against you at all. But I am for the natural order of things. And if going against you is what I have to do in order to get things right, then that's what I'm willing to do. But I'm asking you to join forces with me to find out that I am telling the truth, that this is right. And instead, put away the feeling of bitterness, of anger, of resentment, and say, you know what? I love my children, and I understand the long game that the government is playing, and so I'm not going to play child support no more. Okay, I'm going to do 50-50 custody. I'm just going to give this man his son. Okay? Please, ladies, let's start doing something different. All right? And let's get a different outcome. So my Cash App is $Gil Muse. Please like, share, subscribe. I need support so that we can get this revolution going. I dream of standing on the stage with a microphone in front of a large audience of people, fighting for fathers' rights, speaking the truth. I want to be remembered in history as the black man who stood up for fathers' rights, and he was the father of it. It didn't get done in his lifetime, but he started this great fight. So until my next broadcast, thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to me, because I know your time is precious. This is Papa G saying I love you, and I love everybody. Peace.